Impression management in social media. Impression management is the goal-directed activity to control and regulate information in order to influence the impression formed by an audience. It's the process of portraying yourself to others in a manner that creates your desired impression. Impression management theory was first developed to show how people use this as a goal-directed activity to impress each other. We do this by the clothes we wear, our makeup, our hairstyles. Consider what you think about the four guys in this picture as opposed to the four guys in this picture. We have different impressions of who they are just based on how they are dressed and their hairstyle. Body language also plays a big part in the impression we give. Depending on who we are trying to impress, we'll dress a certain way or use specific body language. For example, when preparing for a job interview, you dress a certain way to give off a professional appearance. Hopefully, you don't go to the interview in board shorts and a tank top, unless you're interviewing for a lifeguard position. Your body language will be attentive, sitting up straight, maybe even leaning forward a little, smiling, using eye contact. All of these are goal-directed activities to leave the desired impression that you are the right person for this job. Erving Goffman, who developed this theory, likened the impression management to a stage performance. Self-presentation is the process of selecting which aspect of oneself to disclose, hide, or fake in order to create the positive impression to the audience. We're acting for an audience, and these interactions are shaped by both the environment and the audience. Social media has allowed us to become whoever we want. Now that first impressions are often made in cyberspace, people are not only strategizing about how to virtually convey who they are, but also grappling with how to create an e-version of themselves that appeals to multiple audiences: coworkers, mom and dad, boss, friends. We all know what it's like to convey our best self online, making sure the camera angle is just right for the selfie and then edit it to make it even better. As human beings, most of us are good at impression management. Let's transition to brands. Companies and organizations also use impression management to influence their public. Let's first talk about the difference between PR and advertising. Advertising is paid media, public relations is earned media. Advertising is creating paid announcements to be promoted through different types of media, including online, TV, print, and radio. PR, on the other hand, is a strategic communication process that builds mutually beneficial relationships between organizations and the public. PR is great for building a connection with your audience and promoting your key messages. Consumers are more likely to believe and take note of something written in an article rather than the advertisement that has been paid for. So impression management is part of the PR process, the earned media that companies create to bolster their image to their customers. Disney is a master at impression management. They like to say that Disneyland is the happiest place on earth, and we believe them. You'll even stand in line for a ride for hours and think you're having fun. Apple is another company that is highly effective at impression management. Just for the fun of it, let's look at one key aspect of how Apple would like the public to think about them. Recently and often, Facebook, Amazon, and Google have been in the news concerning privacy issues, whether it was selling customer information or their devices spying on their users. Apple, on the other hand, has strategically placed themselves as a protector of customer privacy. Some of their messages are that every phone call and text is highly encrypted and that information is stored on the device, not an Apple server. Historically, they won't even help the government break into a criminal's phone. So that's part of their PR impression management. It's the image they want to convey to their public. Impression management plays a vital role in all fields, such as organizations, hospitals, educational institutions, marketing, and PR. So what does impression management have to do with social media? Social networking began around 1997 as a personal space to connect. It went mainstream around 2003. Social networking sites provide users with an online space to construct an image of themselves, create networks, and communicate with others. Brands quickly figured out how to use social networking sites to leverage brand identity. On the one hand, brands often strategically present different aspects of themselves to increase their social capital, from engaging new customers to managing current customers. Social media provides opportunities for brands to ask questions such as, who am I? What matters to me? And how do I want others to perceive me? In terms of social media, what is the environment? The platform, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Who is the audience? It's those we want to impress. We understand the audience on Facebook is probably different than the audience on Snapchat. Understanding who your audience is helps to create the impression they need to hear and see. Dad and mom might be on Facebook, but my high school friends are on Snapchat, so I adapt my message to my audience. Some of the strategic components of impression management that brands should consider while on social media are the language they use, how well their information is written, the pictures they choose, how many followers they have, and the way that they respond to their comments. So as you can see, brand identity is all about impression management. As you go through this course, you will create your own blog site and post several blogs. These will give you a chance to develop your own brand identity.